Good morning. We're going to talk about proportion. Proportion is a comparison of two equal fractions. For example, we have 1 over 2 equals 50 over 100. We know that that these are equivalent fractions, and this is a proportion. However, sometimes when we're dealing with proportions, we don't know one of the variables. In that case, we need to use a formula in order to find that out. A formula that works when trying to find any one of those variables is one that we say is over of percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. So let's just take an example. So we can say 3 is what percent of 15? Well, using our formula, we can solve for this proportion. Do we know what our is? Yes, we do. 3 is. Do we know what our percent is? In this case, it says what percent, so we don't know what that is. And then we have our of. Our of is 15. So let's take what we know and plug it into our formula. 3 goes into the is position. Of goes into the of position. This bottom number, 100, is our constant. It never changes, it's always there. Okay? Now what's our percent? It's what? We don't know what that is. So let's represent that with a variable. Just remember that a variable is a letter that we use to represent an unknown value, and it changes from question to question, so we call it a variable. So with this question, 3 over 15 equals x over 100. To solve it, we cross multiply. 3 times 100 is 300. 15 times x is 15x. So what we want to do is we want to isolate the variable. That means get the x by itself. In order to do that, we divide by 15. Any number over itself equals 1. So 1 times x is x. So that cancels itself out. What we do to one side of the equal sign, we have to do to the other. So now we have 300 divided by 15. So let's figure that out. Does 15 go into 30? It does, twice, leaving us with a 0 remainder. Let's bring down our 0. Does 15 go into 0? No, it doesn't. So we're left with 20. So we can say that x equals 20. 3 is 20% of the number 15. In order to double check your answer, all you have to do is say how many times does 3 go into 15? Well, 3 times 5 is 15, right? So how many times does 20 go into 100? 20 goes into 100 5 times, so we know we've done it right. All right, thank you.